are there we go. There we go. Okay. Well, a couple of things just to say as we get started. I think what I want to say first is that Ariha has really worked very hard on this kind of training program for our clean energy counselors. But I also want to emphasize this is our first time running this particular training. So we've certainly done other things, but this is going to be a first for us. So really, I hope that you'll be patient. You will contribute your own thoughts and knowledge. I really see this training that we're going to be starting right now, I really see it as a work in progress. So please don't expect us to have the final word on any of these things. This is really intended to be a space where we can talk, we can explore, we can ask questions, we can challenge assumptions. And it's really a space where we're all in this together learning. So I want to dispel any notion that Ariha or I are the experts on any of this. We are doing our best to kind of bring our knowledge, but ask you to bring your knowledge as well. And all of that is welcome during this time and in this training. This is not a one-way street. This is very much a multi-directional learning process. So I really want to just emphasize that from the outset. So to set expectations that we really want to learn from you, and all of us want to be learning from each other. So I think there's various levels of knowledge and experience in the room, but I know that many of you have a great deal of experience in clean energy and clean energy advocacy. And so, yeah, let's ask lots of questions. Let's move through this together and let's have a good time. So with that, I'm just going to say a few opening things about Mass Energize, and then we will get into kind of the meat of the training. So this, as I think everybody knows, this is a collaboration between Mass Energize and the city of Newburyport. The EFG program, and I think everybody knows this, is a program that is being funded by a DOER grant, the Department of Energy Resources, through their Energy Efficiency Community Block Grant, which Molly took the lead on applying, and through the city, and we are honored, Mass Energize is honored to be part of this program and on this journey with you. So what we're going to do now is, I don't know how many people know each other, but what I'd love to do is just go around the room, have everybody just introduce themselves briefly so we get to know each other, because we're going to be spending both 2 hours today and 2 hours tomorrow together. So Ariha, I'm just going to ask you to stop the screen share so we can just go to here. And let's just go around the room and introduce yourself. And I think Ariha had some prompts. What were the prompts, Ariha, that you had?
So I had the icebreaker activity. So starting with introducing yourself, where you are from and what you do. And then the second question would be share one word that comes to mind when you hear about clean energy and what brings you to the training. So if you want, I can share the screen.
One word for clean energy and one word for what?
Yeah.
One word
Go ahead.
that comes to your mind when you hear about clean energy, and then what brings you to the training today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why did you volunteer for the training, or what brings you to being a clean energy counselor? So.
Okay. Do you want to call?
Well, sure. I'm gonna call on Mike Strauss.
I'll start.
Mike
Hi,
Gold, yes.
I'm Mike Strauss. I'm a material scientist by training. I'm the chair of the Newburyport Energy Advisory Committee. I'm glad to see Dave McDougall's here. We've known each other for a long time. I think he precedes me on the committee. This is, I think, of early discussions I had with Dave sitting at the Port Tavern or whatever it was back in the day. We were saying, what is the best thing we can do? And the best thing we can do is figure out a way of getting the homes, the residents in Newburyport off fossil fuels. That was like the number one. And we were thinking of ways of leveraging the Mass Save program, doing stuff like that. So, this is a continuation of that sort of stuff that we've been doing. for a long time.
You're too kind, Mike. Good to see you again.
Good to see-
Great, great. And then Mike, why don't you choose somebody else?
I'll choose Dave.
Okay.
But
The wallflower. He's so shy.
Wait,
All
Mike,
right, I'll try.
what was your word, Mike? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
oh my word. I'll say solar.
Oh, okay.
I heard one word and like, that's not happening with me.
Yeah, I know.
So most of y'all know me, but I'll introduce myself for those who don't. Dave McDougall, pretty passionate about climate change and everything. And as you know, Mike gave a intro. We've had Molly over at Munters when I was there, trying to make them a beacon of light for, you know, clean energy and doing the right thing. I eventually left and went into clean tech. Last couple of years, I've been a net zero advisor, focused on, you know, really industrial facilities and helping them optimize. So we've got Munters almost at 7 million kilowatt hours saved and over 1.5 million of industrial incentives and from the utility. So I also am thinking about my third phase in the world and trying to contribute a little bit volunteering wise. So I'm here just to see if I can, you know, help leverage some of my expertise for the town that I love. One word, I'd say 2 is zero carbon. When I think about clean energy, it's like really trying to decarbonize.
Terrific.
Is that a hyphenated word, Dave?
It is, yeah. I got a hyphen in there. All right. Molly, I'll let you go next and see.
Oh, thanks.
There you go.
I like how you said your third phase. Does that mean
Like
retirement?
the third act. Yeah,
Yeah.
have you heard that? Like,
Third act.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
heard third act. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. You can get arrested in your third act. It was like, it
Yes.
doesn't matter.
Right. It doesn't. Absolutely. We can say whatever we want.
I love that.
So my one word is protection. I'll start with that.
Mhm.
Why I got involved was because I'm helping with this group, and I think it's important that I also understand all the dynamics of it and working with residents, being able to answer questions, because as my role, energy and recycling manager for the city of Newburyport, we get a lot of people in the office asking questions, calling, emailing. So it's important that I understand all the dynamics of the program. That's that. And so Nikki, you're on.
Really? Yeah. My name's Nikki Gerard. I'm kind of a newbie on this whole thing. I'm working the ACES program. So I've been working a little bit with Molly, trying to catch up with all you guys. My background is engineering and chemistry, so I'm kind of hoping I can lend some of my, I don't know if it's knowledge, but certainly some of my background to being a positive force in here. I'm interested in the whole energy thing just because, you know, energy engineering, it sounds like I should at least understand it a little bit. I don't, but I like to think I do. And my one word is kind of hard. I'm kind of going with like some, you know, non-destructive, something positive,
Mhm.
you know.
Excellent.
That's great.
Good. So, Ariha, do you want to introduce yourself? I mean,
Sure. I need to up with my screen. Okay, here we all are. Hi, I am Ariha Jain. I'm originally from India. I moved to the US 2.5 years back. I did my master's and got involved with Mass Energize. So for this program, my role is program coordinator. One word that comes to my mind would be empowerment, because I believe that clean energy is not just about tech. It is a lot about giving people with the right tools and helping them make sustainable choices. And what brings me to the training is I want to support you all. I want to learn from you all. You all are the experts in the industry. I just started, and I'm here to help you succeed and learn a lot from you all. So I'll start sharing again. Okay.
great. Okay, well, a couple more things just, you know, before we kind of get into it. So just a little bit of background on Mass Energize. So Mass Energize, we are a Massachusetts statewide nonprofit. We were started in 2019, and we are really in the business of supporting communities with decarbonization. I mean, we're really what we believe in, and what we do is bring our resources and our skills and our our expertise to supporting communities engage residents to take climate action. That's kind of our mission statement. So you can see here on the bullet, we work with community organizers and local leaders, which are both municipal but also grassroots, to help scale household and community level climate action. As I think we all know, that the municipal operations really only account for a small percentage of each community's greenhouse gas emissions, and about 2/3 on average across Massachusetts, 2/3 of emissions come from residential lifestyle, residential choices, the homes we live in, the cars we drive, much more so than industry, much more so than agriculture on average across the state. I don't know what Newburyport's precise percentages are, but I would imagine they're fairly close to the Massachusetts average, which is 2/3 of emissions coming from household level activities. So what we want to do in Massachusetts is really help to make sure that household level change gets leveraged. And then what we're trying to do is propel it at scale to help the state meet its greenhouse gas reduction goals. So we provide a variety of services. We provide digital outreach services. We have a community portal. Some of you might know the Energize, well, I hope all of you know the Energize Newburyport portal. We do a lot of other activities, and we've hired Ariha as kind of our community support specialist to work with communities. And then a big thing that we're doing is running community campaigns like this one. So this is one of many campaigns, not many, but we have several different campaigns going on around the state. And this is an important one. And we look forward to working more. And then, of course, we do a lot of data and metric tracking. Okay, next. Ariha. Okay, so a little bit, Ariha, do you want me to take this, or do you want to take over now?
I can take over now.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you so much, Nathan, for introducing Mass Energize. And I just want to start by saying that we are so excited to work with you all as clean energy counselors. You are here because you care about your neighbors, about energy cost, and I believe today we are going to help you using the right tools that would turn that care into action. So I want to start by sharing what to expect in these training sessions. Just so we are clear, as a CEC, your role is merely to help residents learn about clean energy technologies, the opportunities, massive programs. Not everyone is aware about massive programs, which I learned recently. A lot of them are hearing the term for the first time, and encouraging residents to take advantage of the rebates which they are not aware of. So these slides go hand in hand with the training, a curriculum which I believe you all have already reviewed. And these training sessions will give you enough knowledge to navigate residents to the right resource. And of course, after the training sessions, I will prepare a link or like a packet of resources with the links, where if you want to learn more, about a technicalities of a heat pump or a rooftop solar, then it will help you. And what to expect in the training session today would be some today we'll do the pre-event survey, case studies, one quiz, and important links. Do we have any questions so far? No? Okay. Let's go. So day one objectives, we'll be learning more about the program, EFG, your role as a CEC, exploring how energy efficiency can lower cost, improving comfort, and how best to navigate residents to the massive programs. and gaining tools to help a resident schedule no-cost home energy assessments by MassSafe. And I want to stop here, and I will put a link in the chat to the pre-survey. And this should take around 2 minutes. And I would appreciate you all to please take that survey. We want to test what knowledge you have before the trainings, and then we'll dive into it.
Okay, and then maybe when you're done, just let us know in the chat or something, just saying, or yeah, or as Dave is doing, give us a thumbs up if you're done. No problem if you're not, but okay, great, Mike, Dave, Molly, great.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just trying to get back.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. This is just going to help us, just we're assessing where people are at, how comfortable they are starting, and then we'll obviously do a post training survey as well. So great, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So coming back to EFG, this is a 12-month campaign for the city of Newburyport, where we Mass Energize are helping run it to support older adults in accessing clean energy programs, especially those on fixed incomes, and making sure they save money on energy bills by living comfortably and sustainably. So these are some of our partners here. And it is modeled, the program is modeled on the SHINE program, where trained peers provide trusted support, but instead of Medicare, we are talking about clean energy. So this program is focused on residents over 55, renters, people on fixed incomes, and those in affordable housing. And these are the folks who are often left out of the clean energy conversation, and I feel they have so much to gain from this program. Okay, these are some of our goals by the end of 2025. We plan to train at least 5 CECs. You are 6 of them right now, so I can mark it check by tomorrow. We already hosted our 2 community dialogue sessions early in April, and I will be sharing more about what we learned from them in a couple of minutes. And then we are planning to at least reaching 100 older adults with clear, practical information. We hope out of them 40 take measurable action, and 20 households will see lower energy bills as a result of this campaign. And how we are going to find that out is we might get in touch with them and try to see, make some visuals out of how their bills got reduced over time. For this program, the city of Newburyport has a special $200 incentive up to 21 households who install a heat pump as a part of the clean energy upgrade who gets involved in the program this year. Do we have any questions or comments so far?
No, all good.
Okay, great. I wanted to add a slide about why this program focuses on older adults. I feel that older adults, they are very sensitive to extreme heat, weather events, and they have serious health risk when it comes to heat. They have disproportionate energy burdens. Many adults, older adults, they are living on the fixed income. And this was one of the facts Nathan found out when he was writing the grant. It's 53% are renters in Newburyport who spent over 30% of income on rent, and 40% are severely cost burdened. So, taking this into account, I think these people would really benefit from the Mass Save programs. And we definitely wanted to give a opportunity for impact because older adults, they are trusted, they are respected voices in the communities, they'll act as peer influencers, and they can promote energy efficiency and clean energy adoption as you all are doing. And then we wanted to give a chance for a community leadership because training as CECs will build local leadership capacity. And we don't know, this might turn into a official energy coaching program at Newburyport.
I have a question
Sure.
on that slide, the previous slide. Yeah, the cost burden or the disproportionate energy burden.
Mm.
53% of renters spend 30% and our 40% are severely cost burden. But the Mass Save program typically doesn't work for renters.
It does. It does. Renters can also take part in the Mass Save. It is just that the landlord needs to get involved in the conversation. Like how they can take advantages, they can book a no-cost home energy assessment, and they can get all the insulation, weatherization improvements. It's just the landlord needs to be in loop and needs to approve any of the installations.
Do you have any? I just don't see that happening a lot here. Do you have any anecdotal information of other communities that have gone after? I mean, I know obviously there are, larger facilities, even Newburyport Housing, etc. But some of the smaller homes or apartment buildings, I just don't hear a lot of people doing upgrades there with their landlords.
So Molly, are you saying that in your experience, renters don't typically take
Yes.
advantage of this? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, Mass Save is really actively trying to promote its services and certainly does offer its services to renters. So whether maybe that's something that needs to be made more clear in the education and outreach,
Yeah.
is that this does apply to renters as well.
I just
Okay.
want to add
Yeah.
here that even I am a renter. I live in Quincy, and even I am eligible for a no-cost home energy assessment. Nico, I can schedule one and I can call Nico. They can come do the assessment because the first visit, it does not require any installations of maybe insulation, air sealing, any of the weatherization improvements that second visit. But if they recommend something that this apartment needs air sealing or there are holes, then the landlord needs to come into picture. And I like already spoke to my landlord, and they don't have a problem with me scheduling a home energy assessment. So the landlord always needs to be in the loop. And Nico will also contact the landlord to get a confirmation for any installations.
Okay. No, but as Nathan said, we probably have to make a bigger point of that in our marketing efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah, particularly I would think that for some of the other rental buildings that are, the owner may not be local or, not exactly a very present owner, you know what I mean? Those would be the ones that we could probably make the biggest impact if we could get them on board with this, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Back to our slides. Okay, I want to talk about a community dialogues. As a part of the program, the EFG program, we hosted 2 community dialogues, and this was to engage residents in open discussions to understand their concerns, barriers, motivations related to clean energy adoption. And the dialogues were meant to help us shape the program, also that would reflect in the CEC trainings and the focus areas of the program. So there were 26 attendees in total, and we had dialogues for 2 days. So we started this program by listening what motivates the residents. Like the top highlights were the concern for the environment, and they had the desire to act, thinking about the support of supporting their children and grandchildren. There was a lot of interest seen in getting solar panels. Particularly, some of the people had done a lot of research and they were planning to install in the future. And the motivation that they want to do the right thing and make positive changes if the path was clear. And what some of them already were doing or are planning to do is they replaced the light bulbs, they installed smart thermostats, and they are taking small steps toward energy efficiency. A lot of them recently took the mass save audits, and some of them were planning to do that soon. And also learning more about the state and federal rebates that are available. And there is a strong awareness of energy burden because it was shown that the residents, they were carefully monitoring the utility usage. And I have added a link here to the full report. I will share the slide deck and the recording soon, so you will get access to this. And I have just put some graphs here to show the motivations and the numbers. So most we saw the value, the motivation was the value of a conservation and care for the environment. Then it was for moving away from dirty to clean, having greener communities. And then next motivation, the third top motivation was about incentives and rebates and learning more about Mass Save and what Mass Save has to offer. And
So
then
just go, Ariha, just go back one.
Sure.
So I think this is interesting in terms of the motivations that, you know, the value of conservation showed up the highest in terms of this particular, you know, in this particular group. And you know, and then the third was the cost saving. So clearly, I mean, I think anecdotally, the 2 leading reasons why people adopt clean energy, and David, I'd be happy to hear your experience and the rest of you. But you know, it's both a care and concern for the environment and cost. You know, those are kind of the two top ones that I most often hear about. And so I'm just wondering, it's interesting to me that this came out higher. Of the values piece came out even higher than cost in terms of this one.
Yeah,
Well, I
only
think,
7 people
yeah,
focused.
just I'll just give a quick thought here. Is it's who's answering the survey matters, right? Because if it's a survey just of the general population, you might see cost rise much higher. But people who do
Yeah.
care and show up at these events and answer these surveys tend to express their concern for the environment and all that first.
Okay. Okay, this graph shows sources of clean energy participants that are interested in adopting the following. And a lot of interest was shown in adopting rooftop solar. And a lot of people mentioned NextAmp, which supports a community solar farm, which we'll talk more about tomorrow. And Dave talked a lot in a community dialogues about municipal aggregation and having the green energy opt-in. And there were also hybrid, okay, there was also talks of EVs here. So these are the sources people are interested in adopting. Okay, these are some of the barriers and concerns. The most was about the cost, And even if the rebates exist, there is still some of the upfront costs which are required. Especially, this is a problem with people on fixed incomes. And there's a lot of uncertainty which people thought is on having upgrades. For example, a lot of people feared about having installing rooftop solar at their place and then having any other surprises in terms of cost. So that was one of the concern. There was confusion about mass save programs and the available incentives. People were a bit confused. They did not had enough knowledge on that. And then Newberry report, a lot of people are living in older or historic homes, so they were unsure if the upgrades like heat pumps will still work, or will it require so much work that it would cost them a lot. So, sorry. There was also skepticism about contractors, which means vendors here, HVAC vendors, and needing guidance from someone trustworthy. These are some of the barriers. The most was seen was a cost barrier, and then understanding the technical part of heat pumps and rooftop solar. At last, we asked them that what would help you to adopt the clean energy solutions. And people said there's a need of clear, simple explanations of what's available. Especially older adults, they don't want any technical language, they don't want any overwhelming paperwork. They want to understand it is as clear as possible. They are looking for someone to talk to, ask questions. It can be a peer who has gone through the process. That would really help. Our testimonials would help here a lot. A better understanding of step-by-step support around if anyone has done a home energy assessment, what incentives they were able to apply, what is no cost and what they might need to pay. And then definitely printed materials, one pagers or the website, but they're not looking for anything dense where they have to go through a lot. So these were some of the points. Okay, this is the support they need, and the first point was reducing overall cost. We also learned about a lot of people, they wanted to a clean energy, but a lot of people were also working on decreasing their energy usage. For example, by using smart thermostats. So people are also thinking about that. And then here we can see that there's push for federal government policies and support. I don't think there's anything we can do about it, but this was one of the second top points. And then increasing information about Mass Save and NextAmp was mentioned a lot of times, and people were really interested to understand the process of signing up in a community solar. So this is where you all come in as CECs, your voice matters, and you can offer this the support and the trust which a lot of people are looking for right now, and help them understand more about the Mass Save programs. So let's dive into the role of CECs. But before that, I want to stop for a moment and ask if anyone has any questions. Oh. Okay. So your role as a CEC, so let's understand your role is here to be a trusted peer resource. Your role is to be a connector. You'll help neighbors understand their clean energy options, walk them through how to get started, and share resources about Mass Save, providing clean energy education and referrals. We are not expecting here to be an expert in heat pump coach. If you are, awesome, but just want you to provide enough knowledge to the residents who can take advantage of Mass Save. As a role of CEC, we expect you to attend all training sessions, reviewing materials, participate if you can in events, tabling one-on-one conversations. And we also recommend to take part with me when I do some tabling hours at the senior center, if your schedule allows, and if you can hang out and introduce to other people as a CEC and what this program is about would be great. And then I know a lot of you have already signed the MUA. I have added the link in here. If you have not, please review and sign. Okay. Some of the responsibilities of a CEC. With the first point, I want to clear what conduct outreach and provide information means. As a CEC, when I say outreach, we are not expecting you to go door to door and talking to people. No. Being a CEC, being aware about if you know anyone who might benefit from the massive programs, attending events at senior center, having fun, like trying to be more active in the community, but just showing up with the flyers. And if you're having a one-on-one conversation with anyone, talking about the program and saying, hey, I'm involved in this program, and if you need anything or if you know anyone who might benefit through this, I can provide some information on that. And it is also important for people to know that there's no financial gain to you. This will help you gain some trust. You are just there to help. I think that would be really important for people to understand. You can help them understand their options. If someone is looking for heat pump, you can help them schedule no-cost home energy assessment. And we'll talk more on that later today. But Nico, our home performance contractor, also does a really good job in educating a residents about what the options are. So as a CEC, your role can be some of the hold handing initially until the NICO comes into place and just following up with your friends that, hey, do you need any help on that? We are looking for approximate at least 50 hours per year for stipend eligibility. And we are also planning to list you all as CECs on the website. So, and then committing to staying up to date with the massive programs and incentives. And I will be sharing a lot of those links, resources with you to learn more. Do we have any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, great.
I have a
I want
quick
to-
question.
Sure.
Yeah, so there was something in the slide about I think it was the previous slide to that one actually. We're highly recommended to do 1-2 hours of tabling monthly. Are there regular events at the senior center? You know, like Tuesday noon to 3 p.m. is the something or another. The team Sims get a bunch of people.
Right.
We'd like to have somebody there regularly or once or twice a month there, you know, so that something that has a schedule. So we'd say, oh, yeah, I'll do March through June or something like that, or
Right.
whatever.
I think that would be a great idea. Yes, also depends on your schedule. If you all can like spend some time on tabling, I will be there at the table and just hanging out. That would be great. To introduce and having your face familiar, because I am still an external face. People don't know me, but you are all a residents of Newburyport, and people know you. You hang out there a lot, so that would be really great if we can plan a schedule for that.
Yeah, but Mike, just to kind of more directly answer that, we are going to be talking with Sarah Landry and just
Okay.
getting the schedule at the senior center. And then Riha is going to be making a schedule. So we don't have that yet, but she will be putting together a schedule. And then, you know, we could say, as you were saying, oh yeah, on Tuesdays, it'd be great to have somebody from this time to that time on a regular basis. We haven't put that schedule together yet, because we haven't gotten a chance to talk to Sarah Landry about what all the events are, but we are going to be doing that.
Okay,
Today earlier, I had a call, or right before this, with the Green Expo marketing group, and we were talking about this same issue, and they were tabling this morning just in the hallway. And there was like a ukulele class, and the mayor was coming for lunch. You know, and they said it was pretty busy, you know, and they probably reached out to, 10, 12 people. So, even being there for what don't seem like, large events, it could be worth going to and doing a tabling event just in the hallway. And I think that's the whole point of kind of focusing on this group and partnering with the senior center, was because of the community space that it provides and all of the opportunities.
good point, Molly. They have, we could just take a look at their monthly schedule that they put out in their newsletter every month and just pick a couple, busy
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, just divide and conquer. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
ACES also does one monthly meeting when on a Wednesday. I can't remember if it's in the beginning of the month or the end of the month. So, I mean, we can always have presence there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we can find a few there and then try to find other ones around town that might be interesting or interested.
Yeah, maybe at the library might be a good one too.
Yeah, the other place I was thinking that I thought was a really good place was the First Church on Pleasant Street. They seem to be very, very active in all of
Mhm.
this, recycling and reuse and, stuff like that. So they might be a good group to approach anyway.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Nikki. And that's something we haven't yet really targeted is the faith communities, but I think you're absolutely right. The First Parish Unitarians, the First Church. I mean, I think it'd be really good to make contact with them and maybe even, find out when would be what would be a good way or when would be an appropriate time to speak to their congregations.
Yeah, most of the Protestant, the congregational churches have regular meetings, and they're more, into like community issues. So I think there would be a lot easier to coordinate with than maybe like Catholic or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah, good suggestions.
Great. Coming back to our slide deck here, I want to spend a minute and talk about the tax work-off program. Here's some overview. Some of you may be eligible, some of you are not participating, not eligible. So the City of Newburyport tax work-off program, this lets qualifying residents over 60 earn up to $2,000 of their property taxes in exchange of their volunteer service. So you just log your time and submit it through the process, and we'll walk you through all of that after the training. And there's also an upcoming session. I have included the website link here. They have an upcoming session on May 7th at 2:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to attend. Okay, let's talk about what counts towards your time. Log time spent preparing at events or talking to peers. I just want to mention that this helps us to track progress and report back to DOER, who funds the program. We are expecting anywhere between 5 to 7 hours per month from you as a CEC. If you're able to do more, great. Submitting monthly logs for stipend a consideration. I have included a template in the next slide, which I will show you. And what hours you can put in is our initial meeting if you spoke to me, the dialogues, any prep or reading you have done so far, and any general outreach you are doing. So all of that counts. This is, I also want to mention, it's just for the reporting and documentation purposes for me when I submit quarterly reports to DOER, who are helping us with the funds. Here is the template. I have put in your names here under the tabs, and you can just briefly mention any date, any event you attended, whether it does not have to be EFG program, any other event you have attended at Senior Center. What are the hours you are logging? What location? Did you share flyers or did you had a social conversation? How many people you reached, and were there any questions or any feedback, anything new you learned, or your own reflections? So this would really help us shape the program
Are you-
and
So if I could-
report
Wait.
ours
Yeah,
to
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah, could you go, Adiha, go back to the tracker? Molly.
Yeah, no, my question was, are you sending us this information or is there going to be a Google Drive?
I have already
Okay.
shared this with you all, but I can also follow up after our training sessions to share this tracker.
Okay.
And if I could just say, I mean, most of these categories, again, we're not looking for, super precision, but we are looking to, accurately represent what you've been able to do. I think the categories are fairly self-explanatory, but I do want to just comment on, column H, which is number of people reached.
Okay.
really what we're looking for is not the number of people who, I mean, we will know how many people have signed up for a home energy assessment. We really want to know how many people you spoke with,
Mhm.
how many people you engaged with, how many people you interacted with. So, if you're at a table and a dozen people come by and you have brief conversations, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. We really want to be able to say, we've had conversations with X number of people. And so that's what we're looking for in terms of, what does it mean to be number of people reached? It's kind of number of people engaged in conversation or otherwise.
Yep.
Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Um, okay, do we have any questions so far apart from the template, everything we covered? Okay.
Nope.
Okay, let's get started with our first core area for the program, which is energy efficiency and home energy assessments. I want to start with talking about Massive. I know you all are aware of Massive, but just for the sake of recording, I'm going to say that Massive is a statewide program. It is funded through your utility bill. If you're paying for electricity or gas, you are already contributing to Massive. And these are the Massive partners. These 6 companies make Massive. Massive also offers no-cost home energy assessments. There are so many other programs, rebates going on, and it also provides some financing options for clean energy upgrades that we'll talk more today. Okay, to explain Massive to someone, what someone is hesitant and it is to like share information, you need to show them the energy efficiency charge on their bill. This is a snapshot of my bill. This is the energy efficiency charge. I already paid $7.23 last month to Massive. Letting them know there's no commitment required and letting them know this is a non-profit program that we are involved in. There's again no financial gains to us or to Massive. You have already paid to Massive, and this is your time to take advantage of the program and the rebates.
Can I ask you a question? Do you happen to know what the yearly revenue is from that in Massachusetts or in National Grid territory, or however we want to categorize that? Because I'm sure
That's
people will ask.
I don't know, but I'm guessing probably a lot. I will need to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know. Dave, do you happen to know? Do you know what the Mass Save budget is, or Mike, do you know?
No, I don't. But I
I
know that Massachusetts committed to like $4 billion recently for, over several years for something. So it's a pretty big number. But
It
no, I
is a
don't know
big,
that one.
yeah, and I don't know either, Molly, but it is a big number. That much.
Yeah,
I
no,
do.
I mean, people complain about this part of their bill all the time, so.
Yeah.
And then they'll also ask, is this program with Mass Energize and Energy for Generations, is it being paid for through that? And we all say, no, this is a separate grant that we received from from the federal to the state,
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right.
just to promote the
So
program.
using Google and their AI assistant, it says Mass Save has a 4.5 billion annual budget for the next 3 years. And that includes the reduction of 500 million, which is, it was originally $5 billion budgets that were proposed. And so they've clawed
Okay,
back
so-
So 4.5 billion over the next 5 years.
over the next 4.5 billion
Yep.
for the next 3 years. And my
3 years.
interpretation is that I'm not sure, but I think it's a little ambiguous. But I think that's 4.5 billion a year, but I'm not sure.
It,
I do know that the 500 million reduction was for the 3 years. So I
Okay,
think
so maybe that's maybe that's for the 3 years as well.
I do think it's for the 3 years. I think.
So
Um,
it's like 1.2,
5 billion.
1.5 per year.
Billion.
Yeah, it's basically 1.5 billion per year.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
so
right.
they're spending 1.5 billion per year to get back 500 million?
Yes.
No. No.
No.
To save.
So I think they originally proposed Mass Save was going to raise 5 billion over 3 years through this
Program.
Yeah,
tax on your energy bill.
Mhm.
This winter was very expensive, so DOER in the state said, we're going to lower the Mass Save adder by 500 million over the
Wow.
next 3 years.
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, gotcha. That's good to know. That was a good question because I
So-
assumed the other.
Yeah, no, Mike, thank you. That was very well explained, Mike. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Oh, and that was over the next 3 years.
Yes.
And then are they tracking, Mass Save is tracking what the actual reduction?
You
They do.
know, they do. Is that right? They do, but they're very there's one of the complaints about Mass Save is that they are not at all transparent. So if you ask them, can we see or can you share? They do not share that information readily. And I know people who've been quite frustrated with the lack of transparency in terms of sharing that kind of information. So
Well, I know that there was a discussion trying to pull it out of the utility and into a separate
yes.
organization.
And yes, and that is currently, Molly, you're right. That is an ongoing conversation for the next round. I mean, 2025 through 2027 is set, but they're looking at some substantial changes for the 2028, 2029, 2030 3-year period for Mass Save and putting it perhaps as a separate entity and not in the hands of the utility.
Right. Okay.
Okay, coming back to our slide deck, we have benefits of home energy assessment, home energy efficiency for residents. It will help them lower their utility bills, save between 10 to 30% annually on heating and cooling. It will help us help them in living more comfortably, healthier air, reducing molds, moistures. It also increases the home value, the property value, so it is attractive. I mean, after the home energy upgrades, the houses are more attractive to buyers. And this having the home energy assessments will give you access to rebates and 0% loans through Mass Save. And Mass Save says like the first step is to do the home energy assessment, which helps unlock other incentives. Okay, let's talk about NECO. NECO is one of the Mass Save partners. NECO is our official home performance contractor, is a term we are using for this program. So there are a lot of Mass Save partners. And I just want to mention here that it is important when you all as CECs are talking to residents, and when you talk about Mass Save, not let residents go through masssave.com and having scheduling the home energy assessments through Mass Save. Instead, having them go to NECO's website and signing up through there, because it will help us count the metrics. With NECO, we have a system that they created a dashboard for us, and they will be tracking all the Newburyport home energy assessments that are coming through NECO. That will be recorded and it will help us in writing reports and forwarding that to DOER. So that's helpful to us. So it is important for residents, for you as CECs, to let everyone go through NECO.
But if they do go through Mass Save,
So if they
we don't
go
get
to
to track them.
Mass Save can refer them to anyone. There are a lot of Mass Save partners. I don't even know, but there are a lot of them working in
Right.
Newburyport. Mass Save don't know about this program and they can forward it to anyone. So that's why us
Right.
as
So that won't count if we don't get, if
that
it
won't count.
doesn't.
Right?
That won't
Okay.
count. Definitely, residents will take advantage of Mass Save, which is great, but we won't be able to count that as a metric in this program.
So I do have one other question. Do we have yet a dedicated website for, has Nico given, do we have a dedicated website for this program where we can refer people and they'll go then to Nico?
We just have to go to Nico's website. I will show that later. It's
Okay.
just Nico, NEECO.com, and they have a sign up form. But as CECs, they really, they prefer for them to directly call so that they can schedule it at the moment. If any resident is interested, you as CECs can share the number of a customer representative at Nico, and they will schedule the home energy assessment right there. But if we sign up, they have a whole process, and it would take at least 2 days for someone from Nico to call the resident to schedule the assessments.
Okay.
Yes, talking about Nico, so they provide no-cost home energy assessments. Some installations, they don't install heat pumps, but they do other installations like insulation, weatherization. They also just started installing solar. And after the first visit, they will give a personalized energy efficiency plan in a form of detailed report of recommendations, which I have added a link to in the later slides. And this will give, again, unlocking more massive rebates if you want to move forward with any other clean energy installation. Do we have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So Massive, they don't want us to using the term free. Their service is free because they prefer it no cost because residents, they have already paid for it on their bills. So it is important as counselors that we explain about the Massive program when we are talking to anyone and making them aware that no, you have already paid for it. It is not free, it is no cost. And also sometimes people get confused when we are using the term home energy audit instead of home energy assessment because people think of it as taxes. So therefore we want to use the term energy assessment. Okay, how does a home energy assessment work? It starts with the eligibility check when someone wants to call them to schedule via online form or call. So they will ask you to upload their utility bill. They will check the R rate, which I will talk in the next slide. So there's an eligibility check if that resident would schedule the home and energy assessment through NECO or through any other agency. Once the scheduling is done, the NECO technician, they visit the home for visual inspection. They check for insulation, air sealing, appliances, heating systems. They do a combustion safety test. This is to identify air leaks. And this is the testing which verifies proper venting and just to make sure that there are not any dangerous gases like carbon monoxide leaking or building up. They do.
Quick question. Now, is things like carbon monoxide, will they make recommendations to people if they don't have carbon monoxide monitors, et cetera? Do we know that?
I don't know, but I have shadowed them on one of the assessments, and I have seen that they have like some of the tools where they come to check the leaks. I'm not sure if they provide or install any monitor, but they do come to check if there are not any air leaks.
I got another
Sure.
dumb question.
No,
No,
Do we,
I was gonna-
we get to go on any, can we go on any of these inspections? Can we shadow?
We can arrange that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I just think it would be good for us for future stuff. If we
That's
go
a
on
great
one
idea.
or two of these, we can at least explain to people firsthand, this is what they do versus like, I think they do,
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
You can come to mine.
Dave. I was
Yeah,
just
I-
thinking
I
of
mean-
that because Dave is planning his pretty soon, right, Dave?
I had one with Revise and I canceled it. It was supposed to be last Friday. And I canceled it and then I'll sign up. I'm gonna experience the Nico process as a user first. So
Dave, you said Revise, are they,
oh, revision, not revision, right? Who's the
Oh.
one?
Oh, yeah, no, it's
Vision.
it's revised, it's
No, it's-
revised.
it's-
Oh, revise, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
I
revised.
mix up those two all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so to that point, Dave, I'm really glad that you're doing that, and I recommend. I mean, I recommend all of the CECs. If you live within Newburyport, or I guess even if you don't, I mean, if you haven't had one done recently, and Ariha will say this, if you haven't had one done in the last 2 years, please just go ahead and have it scheduled. And Nikki, then you don't have to shadow somebody else. You can watch what they do in your own home.
I live in an energy efficient rental.
Okay,
They
okay.
won't come here.
I think there was a question about the CO2. I believe the way it works, I mean, they might recommend it, but I don't think, I think the way the building codes are, that when you upgrade or replace a heating system, the installer will come in and say, and look around and say, oh, as part of this, we now have, it's now required that you put in CO2 sensors. We can combine them with your smoke alarms. That
Right,
sort of
yeah,
thing goes on.
I didn't mean like, I mean, I just thought maybe they would point it out, say, you need better, ceiling here, this, that, and the other thing, and oh, you should think about a CO monitor, I don't know, it was just me.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that or not, but I think the code deals with it
Okay.
at upgrade time.
I have actually added a link here as an example on what kind of a report they provide after the first home energy assessment. So here, I think the person opted for installing a thermostat. They got an advanced power strip and the first fee visit. So they just mention it, but our cost to you is 0 here. And what we recommend, these are the following they recommend, and they already installed. So having all of this, the person only had to pay $97, and the bill to Mass Save was 1,230. So I think they took some air sealing services here, and then the weatherization improvements. The cost here was $1,831.04, and the cost to Mass Save was 13,000 here.
Could you go back up, please, Aria, to the top? Where it says your estimated cost after incentive. Yeah, the one to the right where the cost was, that's your savings. So if you go straight down to estimated cost after incentive, it's pretty much 0.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
the savings is the 1,800 or 1,800. So it costs Mass Save 13,000. Their savings should be around 1,800, but still all those things should cost 0. That's what it sounds like. That's what the
Yeah,
report says.
Nikki, good pointing that out, Nikki. Yeah, the cost to the consumer there or the homeowner is 0. But the savings is 1,800. Thank you, Nikki.
No, that's just what it says to me. That's why I was just wondering if I
Yeah,
read.
no, that's correct. Ariha, can you verify that?
I'm not sure, but I will check with someone at NICO on
Yeah.
how
Because
how to
that's
better understand the billings. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll help
that
us.
column is definitely savings, estimated annual energy savings.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great. I mean, because that's a nice number to,
Yeah.
be able to point out to people that, that all that work doesn't cost you anything and you could save,
Up to
almost
$2,000 just in energy costs. Yeah.
I've had air sealing done several times. That was no cost, so that doesn't surprise me. Sometimes it's that they cover it, 80, 90%, and sometimes 100%. So
Okay.
looks
And-
looks
and they-
looks right to me.
Okay, and they can come back, I think it said every 2 years to do this, that we can ask every 2 years?
Yeah, of course they won't air seal every 2 years, but they'll come back and look for new things. And at some point they don't find anything
Yeah, they
more,
tell you
but
to get out of town.
oh yeah. They had to change the rules for me because we were getting it done like every year. And they're like, no.
Oh, now I know why it says 2 years.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, because of me.
Okay. Equipment recommendations. They're talking about the payback years, the cost, And what else? Okay, they also mention about the 0% heat loan, which we'll also be covering in the slide deck.
Could you
And
go
some
back?
of
Yeah,
the
can
next
we-
steps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
the
ahead,
loan-
Nikki,
I
you
just
asked
want to see
first.
the loan. Okay, so it's 0% financing. Okay, that's great. That's all I wanted to see. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good, because they were about to get rid of that and it was changing, but at least that's there.
They got
At some-
they got rid of it if it's gas, but not for heat pumps.
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's no longer available for high efficiency gas.
wow.
Yeah, okay, that's, yeah, you're right. And even hybrid systems, there's like some rules against it, right?
Oh, I'm
If you
sure,
had to
yeah.
back up gas, yeah.
Because Newburyport has mostly gas.
Yes, it does.
We should cover one elephant in the room at some point, and I don't wanna disrupt your flow here, but heat pumps generally cost more to operate on an annualized basis.
Mhm.
And so few people who get heat pumps put in, they're like, I'm doing clean thing, and it's more efficient. But it ends up costing more. People get surprised, and I think we should be really careful about how we present the heat pump solution and why someone might do it versus,
I was gonna bring that up too, Dave.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
what's your perspective on it, Molly?
Well, that it does cost more. And
Yeah.
so, especially with people on fixed income, our whole point is to try and help them. Well, if they have a problem, obviously, this is a solution in their home, but secondly, to reduce costs. And if that is not the case, how do we combat that? I mean, if they did a hybrid system, like you were saying, and they kept their gas boiler and use their heat pump for heat only when absolutely necessary, and then use their heat pump for air conditioning, is the same true that it's still gonna cost more than running a wall unit or a window unit AC?
No, so generally, if you have air conditioning, you're replacing your current, let's say, inefficient air conditioning with a current heat pump, you're definitely gonna be more efficient from an air conditioning standpoint.
Okay,
But on the heating side, there's a threshold, right? So let's just assume gas is roughly 3.5 times more expensive, and the coefficient of performance of a heat pump is on average a little bit less than 3 and operating wise. And when you get colder, it starts to approach 1. So there's a threshold of about 40-degree outdoor ambient temperature where you're about cost neutral. And so, yeah, I've got sort of advised some neighbors like when it's below 40, they just run their fossil gas heat, and when it's above, they do their they run their heat pumps, and they seem to work okay. So every system's different, so that, but the rough order of magnitude is 3 to 4x less expensive for gas, and then the the efficiency threshold, depending on the equipment and how the house is set up, is roughly 40 degrees.
3 to 4%.
3 to 4 times. Sorry, did I say
Time.
percent? Yeah,
Time.
3.
No, you said
but
X. You said-
Gas on a thermal basis is about a quarter to a third the cost of
Oh,
electricity.
that's
but-
pretty big.
No, it's not really not that big, because as Dave said, the cost is 3 times, but the coefficient of performance of burning gas is 1. The coefficient of performance of the electricity is somewhere between 2 and 3. So you get a lot of that back. I think that, as I understand it, the issue is with gas, it's a hard trade-off. With oil or propane, if you're heating your home, and I think there are 30 to 40% of the homes in Newburyport that are on oil and propane, that is more efficient on a heat pump than otherwise. So I think one of the things is to sort of focus on those in the current state, and then as people design and build better heat pumps in the future, when people on natural gas need to switch over, then there may
Yeah.
be a better economic switch for it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. like that.
Yeah, so thanks, Mike. I just want to add in there. So I was going to bring up that point, Mike, is that yes, I mean when you say more expensive in relation to what, right? It is heat pumps are more expensive in relation to gas right now, but certainly not more expensive in relation to oil or propane. So Mike's right about that. So I think the question then becomes, well, what kind of a heating system do you currently have? What would be replaced? And then I think my feeling is to simply say to people, heat pumps do draw more electricity. Electricity rates are higher currently. So you're not going to see the savings in relation to gas. You will see savings in relation to other forms of energy, or at least oil and propane. And then present it as, okay, you wouldn't be doing the heat pump in order to get the savings, but if you can afford it, it's a much better system, more efficient, better for your health, et cetera, et cetera. So then you emphasize other benefits because cost is not one of those in relation to gas or fossil gas, as Dave said.
I think another thing one can talk about is if you tie heat pumps in with solar, and if you have the ability to put
right,
enough
yeah.
solar on,
Mhm.
then what you're really doing is saying, I'm going to be resistant to the ups and downs of the energy market. You know, no matter who's in the administration, no matter what war is going on in the Mideast, I'm protected. So it's a hedge against uncertainty
Yeah.
if you can tie those things together.
Hmm. So does it, because I understood from Dave Hall, who has built this facility, that we are so sealed, these houses are so sealed and so well insulated, he teases that you can heat the whole house with just a hairdryer, just a euphemism, of course, but so does that make a bigger difference? The better insulated, the more insulated, the
Huge.
more sealed?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that really decreases that ratio of cost to efficiency with the heat pumps?
Yep.
I think it's a big thing. So if you can insulate your place, and I'm guessing you live at Cottage Court,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which Dave
Okay.
Hall did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
That if you can insulate that way, you're doing a great job no matter how you heat your building, because you're going to need a smaller furnace. You're going to use less fuel, whether you're using a heat pump or using a gas furnace.
Okay.
So it's a big deal what he did.
Okay, so
That's-
so we can really stress the whole insulation and heat leak sealing, et cetera, to increase for whatever system you have,
Yeah.
right? Okay, all right,
Yep.
got it. Thank you.
In fact, the way the houses work where you are, they have Dave, I forget what the acronym is, like EVH or something like that.
Passive house,
Uh,
if that's what you're talking about.
I'm
Oh, the
talking-
ERV.
ERVs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That it takes because if the house is sealed and you're breathing, it's building up carbon dioxide.
Well, which
So-
is why we have a mechanical pump that gets the carbon dioxide out of the house.
That's
so-
right. It pumps, it exchanges air with the outside, but it also exchanges the heat.
Mhm.
So it's really doing a wonderful job. And Dave Hall did a great job in that place.
Yeah, he's great.
I think that's one of the reasons why Mass Save, they always recommend you, to unlock any rebates, incentives, that would be second or third visits. But before that, the first step is to take the home energy assessments, and they would insulate and weatherize your house before they install any heat pumps or like solar, so that you can see that on the bill, that you are seeing the savings on your bill.
Mhm.
Good. Yeah, that was a good discussion, though.
Okay. These are the no-cost items included in the first energy assessments. Not everyone would want to call NECO for air sealing, weatherization, or installing heat pumps or solar. They might just end it after the first visit, the first assessment. And NECO will provide, Mass Save provides the instant saving measures, which includes advanced power strips, low flow shower heads and aerators, and they can install up to 4 programmable thermostats. So these are included in the first visit. Why insulate and air seal your home? This is one of the slides I got from Massive website. This explains what the insulator feels like. It is a sweater for your home in the winter, which keeps the heat inside. And insulation, it's like cooler for your home in the summer, and it keeps the heat outside. And this is how work of air sealing can look like. It can close the holes that cause drafts. Okay, let's see who are eligible for an assessment under our program. So any homeowner, renter, landlords, if the name is on their utility bill, if they are paying their bills, they can take advantage of Massive of our program. We might also come across income eligible. So income eligible is the term used by Massive for low income residents who may qualify for 100% coverage. They get 100% discounts for any of these services. And residents in public housing, for example, they would go through something called a CAP agency. It's called Community Action Program. They work for the public. So NICO, it is a private Massive partner. This is a different arrangement. And Newburyport's CAP agency, it's called Community Action Inc. They serve in Newburyport. As CECs, a tip for you all is to check when talking to someone. You can see their a utility bill to check for the R code through which you can know if they are income eligible or if they are moderate income or anything else. So they can move forward with NICO. But I just recently learned there will be more slides where I will be talking about when they would go to NICO and when they would go to CAP agency. Sorry for the confusion, but I just want to add that I recently learned that you can forward everyone, whether they are income eligible or not, everyone to NICO, and NICO can forward that request if they have to a CAP agency. So there's no confusion here to check, but it is important for you all to understand if someone is low income or not, so that it helps you guide them through the right program of Massive and how much discounts they are eligible to get. So back.
Yeah, and I'll just say one thing related to that. The R code of low income or income eligible is either R2 or R4. So if you see an R2 or an R4, that means that they're on a income eligible lower, a discounted energy what to say, billing.
Do you know that eligibility?
There is I don't know what the I don't know the specific criteria that qualifies you for R2 or R4.
I will talk more about it in the
Okay.
slide.
Because does that include like the fact that they might already be receiving money, you know, help from the
Like LIHEAP? You mean
Yes.
oil assistance?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Or electric.
it's the same income eligibility that qualifies them for Mass Save or that qualifies them for Mass Health or other, state-sponsored reduction programs. Those are all consistent, but they are based on an income eligibility, and I don't know what specifically what those numbers are that qualify them.
Okay.
Right, and I just heard either this week or last week that the new administration in Washington is talking about cutting LIHEAP.
Yes, I did also hear that. But
Well,
that LIHEAP is a particular program. I mean, it doesn't mean that they're going to cut all. All
Right,
of
right.
the,
It's just, just for LIHEAP, yes.
right.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, I don't know around here how many people are on that, but I know in other parts there's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have some areas that are on a lot of these subsidies, and the only good thing is that the state is going to subsidize them for a while. But I know in Connecticut, just because that's where I come from, that there are, I mean, the subsidies for each city are it's huge, how many people are on these programs.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, it would be, I mean, you could get this well, I guess it doesn't matter. I was gonna say we could get the information up front, but it doesn't matter.
But I guess it goes to show, though, if people are going to lose a subsidy,
Yeah, I know.
they're a good
Right.
candidate for an assessment.
Yes.
And other things. Take what's available and lower your cost.
Right.
Right, but they won't be able to do the big stuff, just the little stuff.
Yeah, right. No, I
Most
hear
of
you.
most of those people are gonna be renters anyway.
Yep, yep.
So that means we have to wrestle with landlords, which can be sometimes kind of not helpful.
Right. Yeah,
I
makes
was
sense.
thinking for that in terms of outreach, if it helps, we can like try planning some event just for landlords, which I learned in another program
Okay.
for Massive. I think it would be good to educate landlords as well.
That's a great idea.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Because landlords, they might, I mean, get some more discounts because you can get 100% discount on any massive work if you're working on more than 4 units. Like if you're getting a weatherization improvements on the whole building, you can get it like 100% discounted. So having a event on that, I mean, we can talk later, Molly, about that, but that's something which I learned from another massive program, and some of the communities are already doing that, and which is quite helpful to them.
That'll be
Uh,
great. I like it.
Yeah,
And then this is here for an example, like Newburyport Public Housing. A lot of people are not paying their utility bills. They might just pay one bill, or some of them are. I'm not sure. I need to learn more on that. But anyone who is not paying their bills, we cannot help them. And for this program, I might get in touch directly with Newburyport Public Housing, a director there to talk more about like having home energy assessments with the CAP agency there. And then remembering that massive, the assessment is eligible, like you are eligible to get it every 2 years, and sharing that with residents would be helpful.
mhm.
All right, so that's key that they're paying their own electric
Yes.
and or gas. What if they pay one or the other?
I think either one.
The one.
Either one, because I know that some don't pay
Yeah, as
one
long
of
as
them.
they have a utility bill in their name,
Okay,
then they become then they're eligible.
And they don't have to have both.
Correct.
It is a
So-
good point actually, because the energy efficiency charge which you see on your bill, I have observed that it is not on the gas bill, it is just on the electricity bill.
Okay,
So then
but
it's only for electric.
hang on, but so that is correct. It's not called out on the gas bill, but it's actually built into the gas bill. So, and again, don't ask me why, but on the electricity bills, they actually call it out. On the gas bills, it's actually, I've learned, it's actually already built in
Hmm.
to the charge, and it's not called out as a separate line item.
Interesting.
So either one, if they have either one in their name, they are eligible for the assessment.
Okay, again, here's a snapshot of the bill, a residential regular R1. This is where you can find the rate. It is on the first page. And if it is R2, they are income eligible. That's one way to find out. And then I will skip this slide because as I just said that if they are income eligible or not does not matter. All the requests should go to NICO and they will figure out something on the back end and forward the request to a CAP agency. But here as a CEC, it would be great if you're doing some hand holding with the person, because CAP agencies, my observation, and this was shared with a lot of people, that CAP agencies takes a lot of time to get back to the residents and helping them. There's a bit of, I mean, I don't know what's the best way to put it, but they they might take 2 to 3 months or more. So that's bad actually, because the person might also lose interest. They have scheduled it with NICO first, but NICO cannot move ahead once CAP agency doesn't approve it. So that's something that goes in the back end. But you as a CEC, it would be good for you all to know, because you are the point of contact for that resident, and they might reach out to you to ask more questions that it did not go forward. So
Yeah, unfortunately, the CAP agencies move very slowly. They probably have just, a huge demand or backlog, but that is something to be aware of.
this is the income eligibility chart, which I found out on the Massive website. This is updated 2024 to 25 heating season. And you can see the income eligible programs here.
There's Nikki, your question about
Yeah.
the rates. I didn't realize we had this slide here.
Yeah, that's actually pretty high,
I know, it is, jeez.
because usually it's like 25K.
Yep. And this
What's
is,
the enhanced incentive mean?
I think it is just in this range. That's a good question. Enhanced incentive. It might
So,
be anywhere, maybe up to.
well,
Nathan, do you know what that means?
I'm trying to remember. I think and they use a lot of euphemisms. So I think basically there's income eligible, there's enhanced, and then there is what do they call it? Market rate. So my understanding is that there is the enhanced incentive is that they don't provide they do provide incentives, but they don't provide the free service if you fall within that range. So if you see, a single household, a single member, that top line, if it's less than or equal to 49,000, you're eligible for the full packet, the full suite of all of their services at no cost. But if you're in the range of 49 to 91, you're eligible for some of their incentives, but not all. So I think that's how they
Okay,
that's what they're referring to.
yeah, that makes sense.
And how to determine if someone is income eligible you are talking to, you can always ask them these questions that are you enrolled in Mass Health? Do you get fuel assistance or any of these options? If they are enrolled in any of these, it means that they are income eligible. So there are two ways to know. Either you can ask them any of these questions, or either you can ask them to show their bill. This is all to understand which range they are falling to and what kind of massive rebates will be applied to them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some of the rebates and financing. And there's a lot of rebates, but I just want it to keep it high level and to see what kind of bifurcation we see here. 75 to 80% discounts are covered for most residents by MassSave. It applies to non-income eligible homeowners and renters. It covers upgrades like insulation, air sealing, weatherization. For example, if it's a $2,000 yes, $2,000 insulation job, the resident might just pay between 400 to 500. That's around 80% of the discount. 100% covered for income eligible. Anyone in low and moderate income households need to check for their rate on the bill. Any landlord renting to income eligible tenants would also get 100% covered in any upgrades. And this I have mentioned this point before, 2 to 4 unit buildings if they are doing their full property upgrades. All the units if they are getting upgrades on it, they are also eligible for 100% discounts. And
Yeah, and if I could just add something there. So if a landlord were living in their own home, they would not be eligible for the same massive incentives as they are when they're renting to an income eligible, renter or family. So it actually becomes an incentive for a landlord to do the work when they have renters. So this is an incentive to engage landlords because the landlord is getting the benefit
Right.
of having a lower income renter, and then they get all the work paid for. Where if they were living there, that wouldn't be the case.
Right. Absolutely.
moving forward, the heat loan program, so it's a 0% loan through participating local banks or credit unions. I need to do some work to find out which local banks do that in Newburyport. They're available I have added here. Okay, they are available up to $25,000 total, up to these services mentioned here. So heat pump, water heaters, and pump projects, weatherization, pre-weatherization, and some of the certified Energy Star certified replacement windows. and how the program works. Resident
Can I just
Yeah.
point something out? Because I saw this before. Storage, like a lot of people are interested in storage, and storage doesn't necessarily have a payback. But when you are part of Connected Solutions, you can get, $1,000-ish a year. And so if these things, let's say an individual battery's 10 grand, it kind of makes it cost neutral. So I just thought you'd point that out.
Oh, interesting.
That's a great point. Thanks for sharing, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone is getting upgrades, if they're interested to sign up for the heat loan program, NICO will of course guide them through the process. Then the local bank approves the loan. It may take some weeks. The resident can finance either the full project or just a portion for the heat loan. I want to stop here and ask if there are any questions so far.
No.
Okay.
No, I know Institute for Savings does heat loans in Newburyport.
Yeah, so does Eastern Bank.
Okay, good.
Bank and Mike, what did you say?
The Institute for Savings,
Institute for Savings. Okay, that's good to know.
or actually Newburyport.
5 cent.
Yeah, Newburyport 5 cent is where I've got it actually.
Which one?
Newburyport 5 cent, not the
Yeah,
Institute for
and
Savings.
Eastern. I know Eastern does too.
Okay.
Great. Okay, let's look at a case study which I found on the Massive website. I think they were involved in Eversource. So Angel and her husband live in a 1960s Gabriel colonial in rural Sherburne Falls. They love the charm of their home, but comfort was a challenge. The original part of the house was drafty and hard to keep warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So they wanted to stay in the home long term, and they wanted Massive to see what they could do. These were some of the actions taken. They scheduled a home energy assessment. They learned that the insulation was severely lacking in multiple areas of the home. They got the home re-insulated. They installed a high efficiency mini split heat pump and improved the ventilation. They received the LED bulbs and other no cost saving measures, which we talked about, which were the instant saving measures. They installed that. This um, resulted in $12,470 in incentives they received from Eversource, which is again one of the Massive partners. They achieved annual energy savings, and the cost savings, $155, and their home now maintains a comfortable temperature. So why I chose this case study was a lot of homes in Newburyport are historic, they are old homes. And whenever someone wants to do a home energy upgrade or any assessments, it might take some more work on that. So, yep. I want to stop here and ask for if you all have any questions or comments.
No. Okay.
No.
As a CEC, how you can help with the eligibility, understanding the eligibility and scheduling. So eligibility we just talked about. Everything like all the requests will go through NICO. For NICO to fill out the sign up form, I think I forgot to add the link to the website. You can either call their a customer service or sign up on a form through their website. And as a CEC, we want to emphasize that it is no cost, there's no pressure nature of the assessment, there's no commitment if you don't want to go ahead after the first energy assessment, because we are targeting at the older adults in Newburyport, and not everyone is looking to install a heat pump or a solar, considering the payback period as well. So we want to let them know. And we also want to talk about that, which Molly said earlier, that not all renters, they don't know that they can also take benefit of the home energy assessment. It's just the landlord needs to come into the picture, and it will help renters because they are paying the bill. So having the landlords in the loop is important, beneficial here, and reminding them that they can get assessment every 2 years and it's still no cost. And I found this really interesting tool here which was shared by one of my coworkers. So if you go here, you choose if you rent or if you're a homeowner or you rent, you put your zip code, it will automatically select the utility or territory. You put your household income, you put your tax filing status, you put your household size, and when you go to view results, you can select from here what you're looking for. For example, I'm looking to install a water heater. So it would say, this comes directly from MassSave, considering all the information you just put, that how to apply, how the rebates are applying, and you are qualifying for a $1,500 rebate for a split system heat pump water heater. And you can do it for anything. They also have appliances, I think. Yeah, these are all appliances. Induction stove, electric. So as a CEC, I feel this tool will be really helpful to you. If any resident wants to learn more, you can also share this link with them so they can also find out if they are eligible for any other clean energy adoptions.
So what was that called again, please? Oh, Energy Saving Finder. Okay.
Yes, I have put the link here. So you can also find it, but this is through Mass Housing.
And this is a tool. I think this is a tool that is through a collaboration between Rewiring America and Abode. I think they are the ones who built this tool here, and so it's being distributed through several different services, including Mass Housing.
Okay.
Okay, this is something which we have covered, starting with energy efficiency. If someone does not want to go ahead with installing any other upgrades, even with the energy efficiency, they can reduce their bill. They can take advantage of the instant saving measures to improve the comfort and air quality and reducing bills. They are again eligible for most rebates, loans, which unlocks after you get the first home energy assessment within the 2 years period. NECO provides the assessment, outlines recommendations, and CECs should always start by encouraging residents to schedule their assessment before doing anything else. Okay, do we have any questions so far?
No, that looks great. Thank you. You've gotten pulled together a lot of great information, Ariha. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Job.
Thank you. Okay, let's have some fun. I planned a quiz. It has 15 questions.
Why is a quiz fun, Aria? Why is a quiz fun? Why?
You will see now.
Gonna
Why?
be graded.
Now.
Why?
You will see now, Nikki. So if you have another device with you, around you, if you have your phones, that would be best. But if not, I would say opening another browser, and I will put this link in the chat so you can click on it. Or if you're opening from your phone, just typing this link out.
Okay, hold on. Ben is texting me at the same time. Okay.
Let's stop sharing now.
Okay, and then we have a code, right, Ariha?
On my
Yes,
quiz.com.
I will just generate the code. Just give me a minute.
Okay, what's the code? Oh, you're still getting it?
Yes, the code is 147319.
47319.
/pro.
Okay, so Ariha, it's not.
Yeah.
I do 147319. Nothing's happening.
My screen
If
was
we use a QR code, if that'll work.
anything should work, even the code should work.
Code didn't work.
It's not
there's
working, Ariha.
There's a space though. I see on
Do
this
we need
thing.
a space?
Let's see.
Let's see.
I tried it both with and without the space and it doesn't work.
No.
The QR code's working, it looks like.
Okay, here, let's.
Where do you see the QR code?
Oopsie.
Oh, she just when
Yeah,
she
yeah.
shared the thing.
I got to get my phone.
There it is.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Is it working?
Or
I
maybe,
hear Dave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
maybe
in.
the link.
Oh, the link? Okay.
Well, I
Sorry.
don't know. Try the.
Oh, we're
try
waiting
the-
for the host to start now, so I'm in.
Who is 147319? I think, Mike, it was asking for your name.
Yeah, Molly's in too.
Okay, here,
Mike
I'm
joined us.
going in.
I love that.
It hasn't shown up, but I'm in. Oh, it said I'm
Okay.
in.
So it's waiting for the host to start though, right?
Where's mine?
Molly's here. Is this you, Mike?
That might
There's
be-
4 people in right now.
Maybe that's me.
Okay, well, let's just,
Yeah.
I think we are waiting for Mike.
is Mike, okay, Mike's
No.
getting on, okay.
Okay, so I think this number is you, Nikki.
I think so because I'm in and it
Yeah.
doesn't show my name.
And we know it's you because there's a space there between the 7 and the 3.
I am a space.
We resemble those remarks.
Waiting for you, Mike.
Gonna have to go back to school for this kind of thing.
We need remedial cell phone.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, you will have 20 seconds to answer these questions. What is the main goal of the EFG program? Train young professionals in solar installation. Is that right, Nikki? Oh, wow. Okay, that was quite quick.
All done.
Everyone got it right. Awesome. Next question. Why are older adults a focus of the EFG program? Because they are usually home during assessments.
Yeah, I think we can see the answer. I mean, we can see, you don't need to read the.
Okay.
We're cooking.
Okay, which of the following?
Oh,
features-
another one. Okay.
I think 20 seconds is a lot of time to put it as a timer.
This is a good
Yeah.
app. I like it.
Great.
Oh, it doesn't show till everybody answers.
We don't
Okay,
want you cheating, Molly.
Reading some chat. Wow. Great. Good work, guys. Awesome. We are on 8 questions. Awesome. Everyone is getting all the questions right.
Are we done yet?
Yeah,
5 more
we're
to
getting
go.
there.
Oh, come on, we aced this already.
Oh, who didn't answer? Oh.
Hmm.
Mm.
I'm not sure about this one. No, got that one wrong.
Oh,
Oh.
What right?
That was mine.
Okay. 75 to 80%.
Okay, thank you.
So we're going on to the solar. Isn't this tomorrow's questions?
Yeah, you're right.
Are we being quizzed on tomorrow's information without even knowing it?
we're seeing what
Hey,
we
you're
need.
exceeding expectations.
That's what we get. We have to start getting things wrong.
Getting you prepared.
Uh,
This is the last question.
All right.
okay.
You need to select all that apply.
So select all that.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, all of them.
Energy.
10 seconds, 5 seconds.
There's more clicks here.
Wow. Just in time. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Wow. Nathan, you're acing already.
How did Nathan get ahead?
Yeah, everybody, I
He
thought,
has already reviewed
Didn't
all
get
the
any wrong.
questions.
We didn't get it wrong.
No, so the last question you have to answer all of the correct. I don't know. You have to answer
I
all of
did
them.
put 3 of them.
It's
You have
three
to
of
answer
them.
all of them
Doesn't
and
increase your taxes, right? It was only 3 of them.
It's three
But
out
we
of
all
four.
answered.
Okay, I don't know.
You know what?
I
You
want to
set
already
up the
recap.
quiz, you win.
I
That's all
already
right. It's all
Recap.
good.
put that purposely to see if you read it increase in property taxes or increase in property value.
right.
Oh,
It said
That-
taxes, though.
I think it said taxes.
It's a taxes.
It said taxes.
I
Question.
thought it said value.
It did say taxes, but I put it there to confuse you all.
You did, obviously.
Value. Yes, of
None of
course.
us selected it, so we're good. right?
Ah.
Somebody's the teacher pet. I don't want to name names, but okay, we done? We did good?
Great job, everyone. Okay, so that's the end of day 1. Great work, you all. We learned about EFG program, your role as CECs, exploring energy efficiency and how it can help you lower your cost, different tools to help residents schedule no-cost energy assessment. And I will be sharing more resources today as a follow-up. And what you can expect tomorrow is we will be diving into the rest 3 core areas for the program, which is rooftop solar, community solar, and heat pumps. And you will gain more knowledge on how to talk to your peers on that and then guiding them towards rebates and financial assistance. And then thank you so much all for your patience, listening, and sharing more ideas with everyone. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask now, and then we'll move forward to the reflection.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Do we want to start sharing with the reflection? If everyone can share about what's the one thing that you learned today that you didn't know before. And I'm expecting you're all experts. So this is not something which was new or basic for you. But if there was something, I would love to know.
Well, I didn't know about the installation cost was only 70 to 80%, I thought, because I've had it done before and it was 100%. So I don't know. That was new. And then who might benefit? Yeah, I know a couple people.
I think I learned a lot about the CAP program, you know, what the, a fair
Right.
bit about the eligibility limits and how it works. And so I think that was something that was just, I knew there was things available. I didn't even know what the name was. So I think that was a big help.
Yeah, I learned how to read the utility bill.
Okay.
Good.
Dave's expert already.
No, I've learned a lot. I learned, let's listen and learn. Lots of stuff.
No,
Okay.
and I learned just listening, listening to you and the questions, and I mean, it's this is really good. It's great to be with people who are already knowledgeable, and we can kind of share information. So
Awesome. I'll stop sharing now.
I have a quick question for Molly while I've got her here. What time do I need to be at the senior center tonight?
I don't know, Mike. I have not thought about this meeting, except I posted it. And I
Right.
don't know.
All right, I'll
I'm
just
gonna
get,
bring my computer and I hope that they have an owl.
okay.
I know that the regular guy that I talked to is on vacation, so.
All right.
Well, I would say like 6:30, 6:45.
That's what I'll shoot for.
I'd go early, Mike, and do an hour of CEC tabling.
There you go.
Then you'll move up to teacher's pet and you'll be on the leaderboard again.
Yeah,
Yeah, then you can get all your metrics done before the day is out.
that's
There
right.
you go. Good stuff.
thank you, everybody. This was really fun.
Ah.
Really
All right,
appreciate
good
your
stuff.
time, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Great. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
All right, I'm out tomorrow,
Thank you.
traveling.
Okay, thank you.
I'll catch up with you
Right.
guys later.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
see ya.
Thank you, Dave,
Bye.
and everybody. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.